Okay, so it's me. This is going to be the first video lesson for the 6th grade extension standards. So part of 6th grade place value is the use of exponents. Now in 5th grade, we will use exponents, but our exponents are only attached to powers of 10. So we'll see like 10 to the 2nd power or 10 to the 3rd power, but in 6th grade, they actually use a different base besides 10. So we're not here quite yet for us for 5th grade math. So some of the things I say you'll hear again probably in the next couple of days, to be honest. But if you are ready, because there are a few of you that are, we're going to go ahead and do a video lesson for notes for exponents. And then you'll have an exit ticket for me on Schoology that goes along with exponents just to show me, are you picking it up? Do you need help? That type of situation. So in your math notebook, like I'm not going to use my math notebook. I just have blank paper, but I want you to keep it in your math notebook. That way, if you need to go back and look at it, you know where you can find your information. Will you give me a heading that says 6.NSO.3.3, and then I'm going to put exponents. This weird string of letters and numbers in the front is actually the standard. So this 6 lets you know that it's 6th grade. NSO stands for number sense and operations, and it's 3.3. That's just the strand, okay? That doesn't really mean a whole lot. It means something to me. It doesn't really mean anything to you. But these are notes for exponents. So one big thing that I need you to know is that there is a base and there is an actual exponent. So will you go ahead and give me a big 3, and then right next to it, give me a little 4. This right here, this 3, I'm going to underline it, and I'm going to write that that is the base. I'm going to circle this 4, and I'm going to say that this right here is my exponent. I'm going to skip one line. I'm going to write a definition for base. I'm going to write a definition for exponent, and then we'll look at what this looks like and we'll try some stuff together. So I'm going to write down that the base is the number you use as a repeated factor. And if at any point I am talking too fast, if at any point I am writing too fast, you pause me, you write down what you need, or you go back and you re-listen to what I just said. And when you feel like you're good, you have written down what you need, or you understand what I'm saying, then you can move forward. These are extension lessons, which means that not everyone's going to get to them. It's if you have finished the 5th grade stuff that you need and you're ready to look at the 6th grade extension standard. So if you need to pause me or replay me, then do that. So the base, which would be the bigger number, my 3, that is the number that you use as a repeated factor, which is the number that we're going to use over and over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and give myself another bullet point, so another filled in circle. And I'm going to write down that the exponent it tells you the number of times to use the base. I'm going to lay my pencil down and I'm going to grab a red pen. Together, this is called a power. So I would read this as 3 to the 4th power, which basically means that I'm going to use 3 4 times. So it's not 3 times 4, but it's 3 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And when I'm saying 3 4 times, I mean that you're literally going to write the number 3 out 4 times. So not 3 times 4, but 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. If you count that, I've written the number 3 4 times. The way that you do this is one little piece at a time. So I'm going to say that 3 times 3 is 9. I'll bring it down. I'm going to say that 9 times 3 is 27. I'm going to bring it down until I've used everything. And then if you need to, off to the side, you can try 27 times 3. So 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 more would get me 7 and 8. That tells me that 3 to the 4th power, or 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, is equal to 81. So it's not 3 times 4, it's literally 4 times. I'm going to walk you through a few of them. We're going to try a few of them, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to put a 1. I was going to put an X. I have no idea why, but I'm going to put a 1. This is going to be example 1. Let's say we are given 8 to the 3rd power. 8 is the base. It's the number that you're going to use as a repeated factor, so over and over and over. This 3 is your exponent. It tells you how many times to use the base. So if my base is 8, that 3 tells me that I'm going to use my base 3 times. So it's not 8 times 3, it's literally 8 3 times. And you're going to just chunk it. So I'm going to say that 8 times 8 is 64, and I'm going to bring down the next times 8. I'm going to bring it down if I haven't used it yet. I do not expect you to know 64 times 8 off the top of my head, or your head, but I do expect you to just do it off to the side. 64 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 6 is 48, so 49, 50, and 51. Which means that I have an answer of 512. That's why it's so important that you understand it's not 8 times 3, because 8 times 3 is only 24. It's literally 8 3 times. You're just going to chunk it. I'm going to try, we'll try it. Let's do 2 to the 3rd power. So it's whatever the base is to the power of whatever your exponent is. So 2 to the power of 3, or 2 to the 3rd power. Now, this is not 2 times 3. This means that you have 2 3 times. I am going to show you another way that they can show you multiplication is a filled in dot, like a bullet point. So if they have 2.2 2, that also shows you 2 times 2 times 2. Those little dots can mean exactly the same thing. But again, you're just going to chunk it. So I'm going to show that 2 times 2 is 4, and I'm going to bring down the other thing that I haven't used. And again, that dot can mean multiplication. 4 times 2 is going to get me 8. So you're going to look at it, and you're going to say that it's 2 to the 3rd power. 2 times 2 times 2. And you're just going to chunk each piece. I'm going to walk us through, I don't know, maybe a few more. Let's say they give it to you, and let's say they give us 5. Let's say 5 to the 5th power. So your exponent's 5, your base is 5. So 5 to the power of 5 or 5 to the 5th power. Either way, they mean the same thing. What I need you to recognize is it's not just 5 times 5. It's literally 5 times. And I'm going to use that little dot again for multiplication. So I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And we're just going to chunk it. So 5 times 5 is 25. And I'm going to keep bringing everything down. Brought down that 5. Brought down that 5. Brought down that 5. If I haven't used it yet, it's coming down. If the red's not really working for you, if you want to highlight what you're using so that your brain sees what's left, that might be easier for you too. 25 times 5. If you need to do it off to the side, then you can do that. I know that if I treat 25 like a quarter and I have 5 quarters, I have $1.25. So I have 125. And then you just keep bringing it down until you use it. Brought down the times 5, brought down the times 5. If it's easier for you to highlight what you need, you might want to do that. And then if at any point you don't know it off the top of your head, that's fine. You're going to do it off to the side. I'm going to say that 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, so that's 11 and 12. 5 times 1 is 5, so that gets me 6. I still have a times 5 to use. I do not expect you to know 625 times 5 at all. I'm asking you just to try it off to the side. I know that 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, so that's 11 and 12. 5 times 6 is going to get me 30, plus 1 more is going to get me 31. So I have 3,125. The base is the number that you use as the repeated factor, and the exponent tells you how many times you're going to use the base. So part of what your exit ticket's going to look like is I'm going to give you something that looks like this, and you're just going to use the exponent to tell you how many times you need to use that base as a repeated factor. I want to try 1. No, I think it's fine. I think we're okay. You know what? I am going to try 1. Sorry, I'm talking my way through what I'm looking at. I'm also looking at a bunch of different papers, but that's okay. All right, let's do, it's kind of a big one. Let's do it. I think this is 3. Nope, yep, nope, it is. Jeez, sorry. Okay, let's say this is example 3. No, it's not. It's 4. My goodness. All right, so example 4 is going to do, we'll do 6 to the 3rd power, or 6 to the power of 3. First things first, show me what that actually looks like. In your notebook, write down 6 to the 3rd power, and then show me what that actually looks like. Because it really should be 6 3 times, not 6 times 3, 6 3 times. You're gonna just chunk it. So 6 times 6 is going to get me 36. If you've not used it, you bring it down. I am not expecting you to know 36 times 6, but I am expecting you to try it off to the side. So 6 times 6 is 36. That's 18, 19, 20, and 21. So I have 216. Another way that they could do this, instead of just giving you an exponent and a base and asking you what it's equal to, they can ask you to write what it should look like. So it would say something along the lines of write the product as a power, or find the power. So I'm going to give myself a bullet point, and I'm going to write down, I want you to write this down too, the product as a power. And the power is literally the base and the exponent. So they're going to give you something that could look like this. They're expecting you to recognize that your base is 21. It's the number that you are using over and over and over again. So the number you're using as a repeated factor. They can ask you to give them the exponent. So you're literally just going to count, and you're going to say, I see 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. This would be read as 21 to the power of 5, or 21 to the 5th power. It means the same thing. You are going to write the product as a power. You're going to recognize that they are using 19 as a base. It's the factor that they are repeatedly using, the number they're using over and over and over. they're using it 3 times. So it's 19 to the 3rd power or 19 to the power of 3. We're going to do one more. I'm going to say write the product as a power. They are expecting you to realize what number they are using over and over and over is going to be your base. So the number I'm using is 105. They're going to ask you and expect you to be able to count correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which means that's what your exponent is. They are telling you what number to use and how many times you need to use that number. So you're going to have another exit ticket question where I'm going to ask you to write the product as a power. And I'll have it where you can just fill it in. That's kind of the same. Looking at what I need. Nope, I think we'll stop there. I think I'm going to give you 3 or 4 exit ticket questions. And you're going to have to show me the notes. So it's not like you just get to sit there and watch the video for however long this is, 16 minutes. You're going to show me that you've taken the notes for 6.NSO.3.3, which means you need to show me your notebook. And when I can see that your notebook matches mine, you're going to be able to go and try your exit ticket. And it'll be in math on Schoology in the folder that says, "Are you done early?" The way I have it set up is that you have to get 100 on the exit ticket. So if you don't get 100, you can retry it as many times as you need to, but it might mean that you need to sit down and rewatch the video or sit down and really look at your notes before you try it again, so that way you're not just aimlessly trying something that you don't really need. So you're going to show me your notebook, and when I sign off on your notebook, then you may try your exit ticket.